Hello, everybody. Here I am today with Dave Kauffman. Thank you for coming, Dave. I'm really glad to see you.
It's good to be here.
I've known Dave for quite some time, starting back before he was a famous public speaker. I think he was just doing Gotta Made, is that right?
Yes, I started Gotta Made in 2008 and started speaking. And so yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, well, since you started, why don't you tell us that history? What's your story, Dave?
Yeah. Well, before I get started, I want to tell you, Jason, that I've seen you start this whole speaking thing, and I want to tell you I'm a big fan.
Oh, thanks a lot,
I'm a
Dave.
really big fan.
I appreciate that.
And what I like about you, Jason, is that you set a goal and you put it out there for everybody to see, and you made it public. And so I love the fact that you obligated yourself to your dream of becoming a public speaker with thousands of speakers seeing your videos. That was awesome. So I'm a big fan of yours, and I know for a fact that if you keep doing what you're doing and work on yourself every day, your presentation every day, I truly believe you can be a great one.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That means a lot coming from you. And and you're right. Yeah, I'm definitely held accountable by coming every single week and saying what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you asked how I got started. I started speaking very early, like when I was in grade school. My teacher said, "Dave, be quiet. You're talking too much." So I've always been speaking a lot. But when I first started getting into public speaking, I was this overqualified, underbooked speaker. And what I mean by that was I had way too many subjects that I could speak on, and I was becoming a jack of all trades but a master of none. And so one of the big hurdles that I had to overcome entering into this space, because at the beginning I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have somebody to say, do this, go down here, don't do this. I had to kind of figure it out on my own, because that's kind of how I do things. But the best advice I can give to you or to your listeners is to focus on one thing, become a master of one subject, and really go after that one subject, and that credibility will then give you the launching pad to start speaking out.
Yeah, it's true.
So when I was first getting started, I had a coaching company, a business coaching company, and people were coming to me and saying, "Can you coach my company?" And then pretty soon people started saying, "Can you come speak for my company?" And I was like, yeah. And I started accepting speeches without me being a speaker, and it just kind of, one thing led to another, and I started walking in that path. And today, I get paid to speak in front of corporations, business owners, churches, organizations, and it's one of the most amazing journeys I've ever been on.
Okay, you said that you had a subject, which I know was DISC.
Yeah.
And that was something that you were talking about for free, I think.
Yeah.
And that's when you became an expert, and that's when companies started asking you about it. Is that?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to become a speaker that could speak on anything about business. I was speaking on marketing, sales, operations, administration, leadership, and relationships, and all of my speeches were really good, I thought, and they were, but nobody knew what Dave Kauffman or who or what he does. And so when I found DISC, I started learning about DISC, the relationships and the different styles of personalities. I started learning about that and seeing how it can affect my coaching business, and I started incorporating that into some of my speeches that I was doing. And I continued to educate myself, learn how to present, learn how to share a compelling call to action, and it started out becoming the number one thing that I was known for. Today, that's all I speak on is DISC. I became one of 10 in the world master trainers with DISC worldwide.
Oh. Well, that's good. Yeah, I went to your the speakers event that you had in February, January back in High, and I saw you talking about DISC.
Yeah.
It was really good, and I saw the improvement from there than back when I first saw you at the Yes meetings when you were just starting out. So that's great.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing that I would encourage you to do, and all of your listeners. If you want to get started in the speaking world, start speaking for free wherever you can.
Yeah.
The chamber, the local, like the clubs, like the Lions clubs and things like that. It's a gold mine. So get out there, start speaking. But here's what I want you to always remember. The only reason somebody ever gets in front of a crowd and shares something is to sell something. You may not actually sell something right there on the speech, but you're selling yourself. You're selling an idea. You're selling a concept. And so every time you speak for free, always sell something. Get people to buy into what you're talking about. Or literally, if you have a product, a book. By the way, when's your book coming out?
Next year.
Next year. All right, good. All right. So, you have to know what you're selling, the idea, the concept, or actually it might be a book, it might be a coaching program, it might be a car, if you're a car salesman. But the only reason somebody would get up in front of a group is to sell something. So, what are you selling? That's my question to all of you. By the way, thanks for everybody for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, looks like I got Virginia Bailey's watching. I saw before Dave Beachy. Dave Beachy had a question. Where was his question?
Let's see what Dave Beachy said.
Jason Van Cleve says that's how Tony Robbins started. Dave Beachy says, when will you be going live from Vito Amato at the throwing place? As soon as he asked me, Dave.
Let's do it, Dave.
Yep, Jason on location with Big Leave, Dave.
Oh, man. What's up, Jason? I see you. Cliff Cranenberg, I see you. Alexandria. All right.
Charles, Jason.
Charles.
Trevor Abel.
Yeah. What's up, Trevor?
Vito Amato's watching. Jason Bearden.
Oh, I know Jason. Yeah.
Ed. Oh, good. So, would you have any advice for me specifically on how I can get to the professional speaking?
Yes, I do. One thing about you, your style, you have a very dry sense of humor, and I think people really connect with that. I think it's important that a speaker is three things: educational, engaging, and entertaining. And if you can figure out a subject that entertains, engages, and educates, you have a home run. And with your humor, I love your humor. I've seen your videos. I watch them every video. I if I have time right then, I watch them. I try to go back. But you always bring this sense of humor, and I would say never lose that. We dissected some of Zig Ziglar's top speeches after he passed away, and we found that every 7.5 minutes, almost like clockwork, he had people laughing. It's so important to have those three things: engaging, entertaining, and educational. People say, they ask me if I'm a motivational speaker, and I don't like that term. And I would encourage you not to like that term. Because, how many of you know that if you motivate an idiot, you've only motivated somebody to be more of an idiot? I like to be called an inspiring, inspirational speaker. Somebody that points to what they already have inside of them, pulls it out of them, where they can be a transformed person instead of just a motivated person. Right. Motivated is always from somebody else pushing them. An inspirational speaker points them back to themselves, and it inspires them to different action. So I would say continue being funny. I think that's really cool. But just make sure it's educational and engaging. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely continue being funny. I always make all my speeches funny. It just comes. It makes it more interesting for me.
What's up, Ryan? I see you, brother. Good to see you.
Ryan, Alicia, Nancy, Eli's watching.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, I would say you know, speak for free wherever
Speaker
you can.
free, yeah.
Always sell something. I don't care what you're selling. It could be you as a realtor, but give them a call to action. And when I say sell something, I don't mean like give you money for something, but and it could mean that. But it also means selling the idea of what you're talking about. That your talks should have a point to it. Just say it. And I think that's why the entertaining, engaging, and educational comes in pretty strongly there. But yeah, speak for free. Keep your humor. And always sell something.
Oh, that's great. And what are you working on these days, Dave?
Well, I as you know, EdgeCon.
EdgeCon, yeah.
EdgeCon is coming up in February. That's a big thing. We're going to have about 15 speakers this year. Last year we had 18, and we're scaling that back a little bit as far as the speakers. That way we can have more time to digest what we've heard. We're going to have smaller groups discussing what we've heard, and make the speakers a little bit more accessible to the attendees. But February 27th, 28th, and 29th, right here in Sarasota. It's going to be fabulous, amazing. It's going to be at the new Weston.
Oh, at the new Weston. Oh, that's a nice place.
Yeah,
that's
very nice Weston. And so working on that, working on another big conference that we're putting together in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah.
Not at the liberty to say for sure, but a very, very, very important person in the U.S. is maybe going to be there.
Is that Dave Beachy?
Not Dave Beachy. Sorry, brother. Not Dave Beachy.
Okay.
But I'm not. It's not President Trump. But it's pretty close. That's all I'm going to say. But we're putting together a conference called Entrepreneurs, Leaders, and Legends.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have about 8 speakers on a one-day leadership summit in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It'll be about 5,000 people.
Wow, 5,000 people.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Dave, that's something I forgot to ask you is how did you hone your skills besides just speaking? Did you have any coaching? How did you get good as a public speaker?
Yeah. Here's what I want to say. You will learn something every time you speak.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I want you to recognize, and you did, you recognize that other than just doing it over and over and perfecting your own craft, that's probably the best teacher you'll ever have is the experience of actually teaching it. So never discount the opportunity to get up in front of a crowd. Number 2, yes, I've taken probably 5 or 6 different coaching courses through Ziglar, through Myron Golden up in Tampa. I would encourage you to connect with Myron Golden. Has one of the best speaker trainers courses. Della Toro, McNeil, you've met him at EdgeCon. Crush the Stage is amazing. And so, Ziglar puts on a really good one. But yeah, I always invest in myself. I believe that investing in yourself is one of the best investments you'll ever make.
Yeah.
Betting on yourself. Because you alone and you know your abilities.
Right.
And don't let fear of what other people think about you pursuing your dreams stop you from what you know is possible.
Yeah.
And so, invest in coaching, mentoring, go to conferences. That's one of the main things. You know, when I go to conferences, I really don't go to listen to what they're saying. I go to watch how they do it. As a speaker, because after a while, you know, you kind of get the concepts. There's really no new concepts under the sun.
Right.
We just package it a little different, put our own little twists on it. But I go to see how people do it. Mm-hmm. And so learn by practice, and then learn by mentors and coaches, and then go watch other people do it. That's why I think Toastmasters is so valuable. Yeah. You get the experience of other people coming in. Yeah,
I'm currently in 2 Toastmasters clubs here in Sarasota, so I'm able to do like about 1 speech. It seems like every week, so that's nice.
Yeah,
in addition to the videos that I'm doing, so I'm working on it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, like I said at the beginning, you know, if you continue down this path, continue to improve yourself, continue to master what your craft, and that's speaking, you can be a great one. Because you have the humor, and I know you have the depth to go with it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Is there any final words you'd like to say to everybody? Or?
I'm going to close with a quote that I wrote about a year and a half ago, and I believe one day I'm going to be famous for it if I get it out. So I'm going to tell as many people as I can here. By the way, you got a lot of people on the call.
Yeah.
Wade, thanks for joining us. Vicky Barino, thanks for joining us as well. But
thanks, Eli.
so here's what I'm going to close with. It's a quote. It's an original quote. And by the way, I have a company in Ohio that is going to be putting some of my original quotes on pictures, and then we're going to be selling them to corporations for office material. And then I'm also coming out with one of my books about all of my quotes and what inspired me.
Okay.
So this quote that I'm going to close with is, suppose all it takes for you to create something extraordinary is to believe that you were extraordinarily created for that purpose.
That's great.
Woo, that'll preach right there. All right. Suppose all it takes for you to create something extraordinary is to believe that you were created extraordinary for that very purpose.
There you go. Write that down, guys. It's going to be famous. Dave, where can people find you?
You can find me on the web at empoweringsmallbiz.com. B-I-Z, empoweringsmallbiz.com. You can also find me on social media, David Kauffman, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff.
Okay. All right, Dave. Well, it's been a great pleasure to have you on here. Learned a lot, and I hope all of you learned a lot. And check out Dave and his conferences that he has coming up.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.